What's up, everybody? Welcome to Conversation Piece with Patrick Armstrong. I am the titular Patrick, and this is a show where we talk about the missing pieces of the conversations we're already having. Shout out to all our returning listeners, and a high five and hello to everybody joining us for the very first time. I appreciate you so much. If you have been listening or watching, for that matter, on YouTube, you'll probably notice that I'm in a little bit different of a setup than I normally am. Want to shout out Lightbound Studios. That is where you can see me recording from right now. I'm recording on my laptop still because that's just the situation we're rolling with at the moment. So the framing is not great. You can't see everything, and I apologize to Lightbound into Soundspace for not having a better framed situation for this particular episode, but just wanted to shout them out real quick, as this will be the space you'll see the next few episodes coming out in November having been recorded from. And I'm very excited about those episodes. We're going to be talking about that in a little bit. But for this episode, and because I only have a little bit of time here in the studio today, just going to talk about a quick recap of October, talk about what's been going on this month. Going to talk about what we have coming up in November as well. And then I'm going to talk about the show going forward. I feel like every single time I do a solo episode, we have new things that are happening. Definitely true again for this episode, but just want to keep it real and keep it 100 with y'all because things keep moving forward. Got a lot of stuff going on, so I'm excited to share all that with you as well. But I'm not going to waste any of your time. Going to jump right into it. The very first thing I want to recap from October is we were awarded a bronze award for the Signal Awards. That was award a lot. But just want to shout out this entire community, all of our listeners, everybody who showed up on social media, who voted, who shared the campaign that we had going on in October. It really means a lot to me to now be able to say Conversation Piece is an award-winning podcast as well. It was really amazing to see everybody rally around the show, particularly all of the guests showing up in their capacity. Really means a lot. It was a lot of fun to be able to revisit the APAM conversations and to share all of that with y'all. I appreciate everybody who listened for the first time or was able to dive back into the episodes and re-listen to them, catch up on those conversations. It's really interesting because the APAM conversations was the first time that we made this pivot on Conversation Piece to be about the missing pieces of the conversations we already have. And it was also the first time that I feel like the show really became what it is right now, what it was meant to be. Definitely not discounting any of the guests that we had on prior to that pivot in April or in May, but it was definitely a chance to do something different and a chance to step into what I think is supposed to be happening here on the show and what I'm supposed to be doing with Conversation Piece in particular. So shout out to the Signal Awards for, selecting us to be a finalist in that DEI category for the branded and advertised shows. Really means a lot. Something else from October that happened that was a really big part of not only my own personal journey, but the show's journey was the newsletter. Conversation Piece of newsletter going from free to paid. Big step. Big leap forward for us here at the show. I say us, I really mean me. But again, that's something that if you're subscribed to the newsletter, you find me talking about a little bit, especially in this last this last edition. So a couple things. Going from free to paid, free subscribers still have the opportunity to read the full piece of the newsletter that I talk about, the full written part of it. Still want to be able to provide something to folks who may not have the capacity or the ability to pay for a monthly or yearly subscription to the newsletter. Totally okay. Still want to be able to engage and access that part of the community or the community as a whole in that way. And still want to be able to share, what I think is potentially the most valuable part of the newsletter is that writing piece of it. Decided to add a paid option though, because what I want to do is figure out how do I build sustainability there without being extractive of the community that we're building. And so one of the reasons that I left the free option and made the written portion of the newsletter accessible to everyone was because I wanted to make sure that folks, if they signed up and had never had the intention of paying, still was able to receive value out of the newsletter. And for folks that do have the ability to do so and have been supporters of mine over the last 3 years and have wanted to find out different ways to support, I wanted to give them that option. And I really wanted to build this in as something that made sense for them, made sense for me, and also, if folks were going to support me in that way, would allow me to shift some of that creative energy into what is available for the paid community. So really excited about the offerings there. If you are a paid subscriber, actually, if you're anybody, I posted about it on social media, you might have seen that I just dropped a new podcast. Speaking of doing too much, a new podcast called Conversation Notes. It's specifically for the paid community, paid newsletter community for Conversation Piece, the newsletter. And it acts as a companion piece, a little bit of a recap podcast for each episode that comes out weekly. And it's me diving into a specific topic, a specific question, a specific piece of the conversation that I had in the episode that came out on Monday. Those episodes, this first episode is like 27 minutes. The episodes I hope will be about 15 to 20 minutes, but they'll really be hyper focused on this one topic. And they hopefully will allow me to go even deeper than I'm able to on specific things from my lens as a transracial adoptee. And, you know, what I learned, especially in September, was that a lot of folks are here to hear those conversations about the adoptee community, the adoptee experience, probably because it's what I've been talking about for 3 years. And even though Conversation Piece is meant to broach other conversations, be more broad in that focus, at the end of the day, it's not that it's an escape. There is maybe it's not a demand, but an ask from my audience that at least I've seen from the numbers, from the comments, from the conversations that I've had, from folks who want to hear those specific types of conversations. So this is a way for, especially the people in my paid community, to be able to get even more value, find different ways to engage with me, find ways for me to engage with y'all through Conversation Notes. So I'm really excited about that. Again, it is adding a little bit extra to the plate, but it is something that is specifically for that community. And if you're interested in hearing me dive into some other stuff in that realm, definitely sign up and consider going to the paid newsletter route. You can do so $10 a month or $100 a year, saving like 17%, I think, if you do so. You can cancel at any time, all good. But yeah, that's what's been going on with the newsletter. There's a couple other things there that are available for folks for that paid community. Specifically, like I've got workshops coming out in November. I'll talk about in a little bit. And we've got that subscribers specifically have an extra layer of access to. There are also sponsors that have some cool stuff to give away to any paid subscribers as well. So really quickly, I want to shout out Your Pasta for being that first sponsor for the newsletter. If you are a paid subscriber, you can do a mix and match where you can get a free package of pasta of your choice with any order that you do through Your Pasta. If you come on and you support them, not only are you supporting me, but you're supporting a woman-owned, Korean adoptee-owned small business based out of New York City. Shout out to Alicia Bennett for being willing to take a chance on me. Really, really appreciate it. Super excited about that. And sorry, I'm just contemplating, thinking about, how far we've come from a newsletter's perspective. So anyways, that's enough about the newsletter. 2 episodes to the 2 guests that we did have this month, June Park, Jason Chu. Shout out to both of them. 2 fantastic conversations about completely different things. I think the biggest piece of relatability is that navigating of Asian American identity. I think is super, super interesting. The way that we both talked about it, especially from a storytelling perspective. June specifically talking about storytelling and the way that he does it as a chaplain and the way that he's experienced it from interacting with so many different people in the hospital setting. Jason, how he has done it through music and hip hop specifically, as well as going a step further and helping to educate folks, going in from the historical perspective. I think both Jason and June brought really, really incredible things to the surface of our conversations about what it means to be Asian American. And it's something that I've been writing about in the newsletter, something that I've been thinking about a lot, that I've even talked about in the John Chi Show. So go check out those episodes, available now wherever you get your podcasts. If you're open to it, consider signing up for our paid newsletter. If not, just sign up for free. You get that full writing. I had somebody say that this recent one was very good. So toot my own horn there a little bit. But yeah, moving on to November, National Adoption Awareness Month. Got a lot going on in November. Not as much maybe as I want, but maybe that's a good thing. Again, just came from therapy, so got a lot of thoughts going on in my head that I will actually be diving into on Conversation Notes. So make sure you stay tuned for that. And it's something that you can get if you sign up for that paid newsletter. Diving into, I got a lot of stuff going on for it still though. And one of the things that I had talked a little bit about doing that has shifted a little is a series that I was going to run about the Asian adoptee experience here in Indiana. And that was going to originally be an 8-part series. It is now just going to be part of our weekly episode runs. Have some really good conversations lined up for that. Really, really excited about sharing those conversations with y'all. And that's going to lead into what we've got going on moving forward that I'm going to talk about in just a little bit as well. But essentially, this November for me is about continuing to push forward and figure out the sustainability aspect of the show and what I'm doing here, figuring out some new cool things to do with the John Chi Show, trying to speak as much as possible on a lot of these topics, a lot of my own experience as well as other adoptees, and amplifying those things, and figuring out how to build that connective tissue between our community, between our organizations within the community, both on a national level and here locally. So really excited about November because I'm going to be super busy. One thing I will share is that by the time you hear this, I can share publicly, I will be in Boston at the end of November for a storytelling event. I will write about this a little bit more in the newsletter, probably for my paid members because it's pretty personal, part of my adoption journey. So yeah, I'm going to leave you with that little tease. But really excited about being in Boston for that. That's my next travel that I have coming up. I might travel a little bit more if stuff presents itself throughout the month that I can potentially do. So if you're looking for somebody to come and speak, hit me up. But yeah, that's what we got going on in November. So super excited about that. And then moving forward. So you've heard me talk about this a lot, probably if you see me in the last couple months, especially if you've been part of the newsletter community. But as we move forward in the show, and one of the reasons I'm here in Lightbound Studios is because I really want to shift my focus to the local community here in Indianapolis. Just a quick recap. I came back from New York this past May, or actually this past September, and just really realized that I think I'm in Indianapolis for a reason. That reason is to help build the connective tissue between the different, diverse, disparate Asian diasporic communities here in our state and our city, and to help really build that foundational Asian American community that exists here but is disconnected. And I think that as I've been traveling more and more over the past couple of years, I've realized that I think I want to be home, and maybe that's becoming a parent part of all of this. And I do want to be home to be able to be there for my kid, to be able to be there from those earliest days of parenthood all the way through that first year. Like, if I don't have to travel, maybe I won't. South by Southwest, let me know. I will travel for that, but just trying to figure that out. And I really am excited about what is going on here in the city of Indianapolis. And
again, I cannot stress enough, join me in the newsletter, join Conversation Piece of Newsletter, because there's so much conversation happening there about what is happening here in Indy and what I want to happen here from my perspective and what I can contribute. And I think the show can be part of that contribution. And so as October winds down, I'm recording this on the 23rd. As October winds down, I'm really excited about the opportunities that I have coming up, because I think it's really going to inform and influence what I've got going on heading into 2024. And yeah, very excited about that. Something that you will be hearing me talk about on the show is the writing aspect of it. Definitely going to be doing a lot more writing. Already have been, and excited about some of the product that has come out of a lot of this experience that I've been on over the last even 3-4 months, particularly as it pertains to some of the stuff in my adoption journey. It's been a lot. It's been fun. It's been exciting, and it's been something that I want to continue to focus on as I move forward in 2024, especially as parenthood becomes less of a oh, it's coming, and more of a oh, it's here. So excited about that. With that being said, after November, there is a strong possibility that I take a break from recording new episodes for December. I haven't decided for sure that's what's going to happen, but I've thought about it. I'm thinking about it. And December and January, really, I might go on like a winter break. The newsletter will continue to go. So that's why I stress, sign up for the newsletter. That's how you're going to stay connected with what's going on with me, what's going on in the community, what's going on for whatever it is. But really, it's just to kind of give myself a little bit of a chance to reset, to take a break. We got these workshops coming up, the storytelling workshops that I'm really, really excited about. That's going to be another way you can engage, another way you can support, both in conjunction with and outside of the newsletter. So highly recommend being on the lookout for those. The next one, or the first one, I guess I should say, is coming up on November 9th. That's adoptees only. It's a storytelling workshop. It'll be virtual. Tickets are on sale now. You can go to the link in the show notes to get those. The second workshop will be open for everyone. It'll be not the exact same, but it'll be similar. And that workshop is on November 27th. Sorry, I had to look it up on my calendar here. November 27th. That workshop's going to be open for everyone. Those tickets are not available yet, but will be soon. So be on the lookout for those. Really going to be centered around naming and identifying the missing pieces of our conversations. So whether that's individual, whether it's the communities we come from, figuring out how do we reclaim those, how do we name those, and then how do we go about telling those things and incorporating them into our own lives, our own journeys. Really, really excited about it. Shout out to BIPOC Adoptees for letting me kind of test pilot run it at the storytelling event in Portland in September. Very much appreciative of that. So that's it. That's the episode for right now. Super excited to be here in Lightbound. Super excited about what we have coming in November. Thank you to everybody who has been supporting us, who has come here for the first time, maybe might start supporting us now. Who knows? Just really, really appreciate y'all. I got to wrap this up. So for everybody out there listening, for everybody out there watching, anything that I talked about, you can find linked in the show notes. All the episodes, the newsletter, the workshops. If you want to hire me for a speaking engagement, all the links right here in the show notes. If you want to follow us, you can connect with us on Instagram. The podcast is at Conversation Podpiece. You can do so directly with me at Patrick in the World. If you are feeling the show, if you've been vibing with the show, we would really appreciate it if you could leave us a rating or review wherever you get your podcasts. And if you want to support us, again, the newsletter is going to be the best way, or you can think about signing up for the workshop as well. Super excited about that. Tickets for those are $15. So just wanted to throw that out there. Again, links in the show notes. Other than that, I will be back next week with our first episode of NAM, National Adoption Awareness Month. Super excited about the guests that I have. Super excited to be recording here in Lightbound Studios. Until then, I am Patrick Armstrong, and this has been Conversation Piece. See you soon.